Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and I'm joined by the Blues brothers, both from the Blue, which is Mike Long out in South Korea. How you doing, Mike?
Doing very well. Thank you very much.
Good to hear, good to hear. And we are joined by Bernard Deneen, the posh one with two N's and two E's, part of the Cheshire set, who runs the Citizen channel. How you doing, Bernard?
I'm all right, mate. I'm just recovering from losing this player today to the old Arsenal. I'm gutted.
Well, you're stolen me thunder, Bernard. You stole me thunder. Yes, we're here to talk about
I didn't mention his name.
His name. We're talking about, when he was coming to City, he was Basmati. Now he's not coming to City, he's Uncle Ben's. So he can do well.
No, it's not Uncle Ben's now, just Ben's. Come on, Ben's.
Yeah, Ben's. Oh, is he a Ben's now? As long as Uncle Ben isn't the brother of Uncle Tom, we're all right. So Declan Rice, it looks like Cobblers. It looks like Declan Rice is going to end up at Arsenal, an Arsenal player, because it seems that last night Arsenal put in a new bid. We'll go through the history. Arsenal put an absolute low ball, dirty bid in initially to West Ham, rejected out of hand. They put another lousy low ball offer in. I think 75 million up front over 4 or 5 years, and 50 million add-ons, which was basically, they were going to be very hard to achieve those add-ons. It's like, yeah, you're going to win the Ballon d'Or, you're going to win the Champions League. Well, Arsenal never won a Champions League. Shows how small they are. So City then stepped in and put a bid in, a similar overall amount to Arsenal, but City said, we are going to pay it in 2 installments, and the add-ons are more achievable because, hey, City achieve things, City win stuff. So if they say, we'll give you 2 million quid if we win the Champions League, there's a decent chance that'll happen. And last night, there was lots of quibbling of whether Declan Rice, wants to stay in London, whether he's scared that coming to Man City because he won't get in the team, he won't get enough game time. Whether he wants to be a big fish in a small pond, which is what Arsenal is at the moment, or he wants to be a fish in a pond full of sharks, which is what you got at City. Because you look around the City team, you got KDB, you got Erling Haaland. Yeah, these are top players. You got Ruben Dias. You did have Ilkay Gundogan, world-class players, and he wouldn't have been in their league. But so there was a lot of talk about that. There's talk about that he wanted to stay in London. To be honest, if you're looking for the best out of your career as a footballer, those are not considerations you should be thinking. I want to stay in London. I mean, behave. That's really, really, really poor. So so all this has gone on. And last night, I thought City were in the box seat. I really did think City were in the box seat because they're the best option in town. Almost every single footballer who's been asked about this, they've been asked, where will you go? And almost every single footballer said, Man City. No question. There's no choice. Stevie Nicol, Man City. Everybody you ask, Man City. There's no question in anybody's mind. That's the footballing decision. So, if Rice is a chicken about it, hey, that's his business. You've got to, at some point in life, back yourself and say, hey, I'm the man. I can do it. And obviously, I don't want to say obviously, but it appears that he isn't the man and he can't do it. And he's scared. So Arsenal put in this crazy bid. I mean, some people say City flushed the bid out of Arsenal. Arsenal are offering, was it 105 million quid now for this deal? It'll be the record British transfer. It's what West Ham wants. West Ham said, we want 100 million quid, I believe. And, that's why they rejected Arsenal's offers out of hand. Apparently now West Ham and Arsenal are going to start to discuss the terms of the deal to make sure the installments fit in with what West Ham want. The rumours are that City, I think one fellow from The Athletic, Jack Gorn, he said, City, that's it. City are not going to bid again. And you know yourself, Bernard, and you said it, we were talking about something else today. City have a limit, and they ain't going to go above that limit, are they?
No, absolutely not. Why would they? Very, very, very good player, excellent player, lots of potential, of course. But, you think back to the Harry Kane thing. I mean, there's a limit to what we're going to go to. And we say, right, we'll cut our cloth, we'll go elsewhere. And, of course, as soon as this guy, he might be, say, number one on the list, and they've got a number two. So they go, now move on to the next one on the list. We've seen it with the documentaries, haven't we, what City are willing to do. We've seen Cheeky actually say it in words on documentaries. Well, that's too, we'll leave it there. We're not going to do that, and we'll go somewhere else. And that's what we do. And I thoroughly agree for that sort of money. I know you, Ray, say it doesn't really matter about the money, but there is a level, isn't there? I mean, we did it with the guy for Chelsea last year, didn't we? We wanted to pay 45 million, and of course, I think Chelsea ended up paying about 60, didn't you? Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason he went there, because City weren't willing to do it. And this is exactly the same. Of course, I think Pep would love Declan Rice. I think he could do great things with him. But hey, we just put it to one side and move on and get on with picking someone else to bring.
Yeah, Mike, do you think that City basically were really interested in Declan Rice? Were they half-hearted? Did they just want to flush out the money from Arsenal and force Arsenal to pay what Arsenal would think is over the odds, or what West Ham want? But Arsenal are about 30 million quid more than their initial offer to West Ham, and I'm sure they never thought they'd have to go that high. So where do you find the right balance? Is it City pushing Arsenal to pay a lot more than they want, which causes Arsenal problems elsewhere, maybe with FFP or maybe with their other transfer dealings? Or do you think City were really interested, but as soon as Arsenal hit the 100 million, City said, no, we've done that before with Jack Grealish. We're not going to do it.
Well, first of all, I think City's board couldn't give a fiddler's about flushing out Arsenal at all. I don't think that figured at all. They don't work like that. One of the most impressive things about modern City is that they don't make impulse purchases like another sort of team I could suggest to you. They do their research. They do it for a long time. They come to a decision and then they decide on the valuation. And that evaluation has proven to be in the last 3, 4, 5 years pretty much non-negotiable. So they wanted him. They wouldn't have made a bid if they didn't. I think it's probably a bit harsh trying to talk about whether Declan Rice bottled it or didn't want it, because we just don't know that. But I think certainly with the bid that City made, it's very hard to stand in the way of a player who's desperate to go somewhere. And I think that you could assume that he didn't force it himself. And so that's led to this speculation about whether he doesn't want to move out of London, whether he looks at City and doesn't think that he'll get the same opportunities that he would at Arsenal because they really wanted him and they really have a space waiting for him. So that's probably the key factors for him in not forcing the issue to City. But certainly City. Nowadays, you can be guaranteed that they will make their best offer, and then they're not going to get involved in bidding wars because they just don't do that anymore. Bitter experience has taught them that.
Do you not think that that they would have had an idea that they would have to put some more money in? Do you think City would have gone in there, Mike, with their best offer, take it or leave it, and that's it?
Well, I think your question is answered basically by the fact that they put in a very good offer, but as soon as Arsenal bested it, they dropped out. So I think that pretty much answers that question.
I'm just reading now that it's been an exclusive thing. It's only 3 minutes ago that Declan Rice and, basically Arsenal West Ham have reached a total agreement for the transfer of Declan Rice. And I read that it's going to be £105 million record fee. Smashes past the fee for Jack Grealish.
Is that with add-ons or?
I think it was 100 with 5 of add-ons, but don't quote me on that. But I haven't read everything properly. And obviously, City.
We've got a release clause, 400 million, anything like that?
not as stupid as Barcelona. They're stupid at Arsenal, but not as stupid as Barcelona. I will just also mention, even though this video isn't about him, City apparently have moved on. We're reading today, after giving up on the Declan Rice deal, City have moved on for a Spanish talent, Gabri Vega. Now, Liverpool and Chelsea remain interested. Come on, Chelsea are interested in everybody. But he's got a release clause of 40 million.
Well, give him a chance. They've got to sell a few more to Saudi Arabia first, and then they can sort of get money in the bank. They're fine.
Yeah, so it looks like that's going to happen. Declan Rice will be a player.
Yeah, Mr. Vega, 40 million release clause, a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, I think. Look, as Mike has said, City have got a limit. You try and push us past that limit, we just walk away. We've done it time and time again. From Fred, when things changed, we walked out of the Eden Hazard deal because they suddenly at the last minute wanted more money. We walked away from Koulibaly, another failure. We walked away from Alexis Sanchez, another failure. He's only, since leaving Arsenal, he's only been good at playing the piano. But I want to ask you guys, big transfer fees, are they a success or not? That's the question. So, quiz time. Bit of a quiz. Okay. I'm going to look at this is from Wikipedia, the most expensive football transfers. At least the ones that are £100 million. Not 100 million euros, but £100 million. Okay. And I'll tell you, rather than ask you which ones, because that, like the other video, it could take about 3 minutes to get somewhere. Okay. I mean, that's 3 minutes is good for you, Mike, apparently. But anyway, Neymar, top of the tree, about 200 million quid. Was that a success or not, do you think? When he went from Barcelona to PSG. Bernard, success or no?
No, anyone going to PSG wasn't a success. Simple as.
Mike, thumbs up or thumbs down on Neymar to PSG? Success
Absolutely,
or not?
thumbs down. No, he's caused more trouble than anything.
Okay, Kylian Mbappe, Monaco to PSG. Success or failure, Bernard?
Pointless. PSG are involved. Pointless again.
So it's a failure. His move was a failure.
Yeah, failure.
Wow. Mike?
Yeah, and same for me. There's always been the impression right from the beginning of that transfer that this was a stepping stone for him, and so I don't think scoring lots of goals in that particular league is you can count that as a big success.
Okay, well, fair enough, guys. To be honest, I think personally he's done all right there.
Well, what have they won, mate, apart from the French stuff?
French. No, but you've got to let me finish the sentence. But I will let me finish the sentence. I will defer to you two guys.
It's been a success in the fact that he can go on to move somewhere else, as Mike just said.
I will also say he's not been crap there, okay, as some of these others have been. And I will accept that I've lost it 2-1. I very rarely admit defeat, but I've taken it on the chin, on both chins. Third on the list, Philippe Coutinho, Liverpool to Barca. Success or not, Bernard?
No, not a success. Failure.
Yeah. Mike, you agree?
Absolutely. Where did he end up? Aston Villa, and then on from there. Yep.
And he couldn't even get in the Aston Villa team last season. João Felix, Benfica to Atletico Madrid. Success or not, Mike?
Flash in the pan, mate. Flash in the pan. One of those players that looks like he's going to be a world beater, and then it just doesn't turn out that way.
Bernard, João Felix.
Yeah, because once you go to Atletico, you either prosper or you don't, and then someone else comes in for you, and it's not really happened. So failure.
Another one, Enzo Fernandez, Benfica to Chelsea. That's about 107 million quid. Success or not?
I think jury's still out on that one. Surely, I mean, he's not been there that long.
Early days.
Right.
Early days.
Still a chance with old Pot. Is Pochettino there now? Is he their manager now? I'm not sure. Yeah. There's still a chance.
Okay, next one. Antoine Griezmann from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona. Success or failure, Bernard?
When was that? How many years ago was that?
2019.
Oh, right, yeah. Not long term, no. A bit of a failure.
No, not a bit. In my opinion, a big failure. He hardly scored any goals, and they had to bump him off to get rid of him because they were skint.
Well, they're not won out. They're not won outside anything of Spain, have they? Anyway, so
Griezmann, success or failure?
I think failure. He's not entirely set the world alight, I'm afraid.
I think we're getting the picture here. Jack Grealish, Aston Villa to Man City. Bernard, success or failure?
It's like a rotten tomatoes. This fresh or rotten. There's no middle ground with rotten tomatoes. You're either fresh on something or you're rotten. And you know me, I stuck up for Jack first year. Stuck up for him last year. A bit of a failure at the moment, but I'm not giving up.
Yeah, Mike.
The jury's still out, but positive signs.
Okay, Lukaku, Inter Milan to Chelsea.
Disaster.
But these
absolutely disaster. Yeah.
A lot of these are recent. Disaster.
2021. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dembele from Dortmund to Barcelona. I think that's a failure.
It's always a bit of failure. So anything they've done with all the cock-ups with the financial side, it just leads to failure.
Okay, Pogba. That was 90 million quid. Success or failure? Juventus to Man United.
Absolute failure. He was expected to really, really be the one that's going to lift them to a new level. Just basically constantly complaining, moaning, getting into controversy. He's more interested in the brand. That was a total failure.
Yeah.
Total.
Okay. Jude Bellingham. Obviously, we can't comment on that because it's just happened. I hope he fails. Eden Hazard, Chelsea to Real Madrid, 90 million quid.
That was that was the worst ever move. He's pretty much retired now. Yeah. Nothing happened. Nothing worked out for him.
So the bottom line is all these big money deals that for players, usually when they're young, that lots of teams wanted. Most of them have been rubbish. They've been horrible, purchases and a waste of money. And so I hope Declan Rice goes the same way. I hope. I'm nothing against the lad. Nothing against the lad at all. But, that's my concern. That
he'll do okay. He'll do okay, but whether he'll, expand his talent at all, it'll just be a run of the mill.
Yeah.
Player.
Mike, do you think Declan Rice was better off playing under the best manager the world has ever seen in Pep, who's won so much in football and has revolutionized football in the last 15 years? Or do you think that Declan Rice will be better off with the guy who put the cones out for Pep?
Hope some of my students are listening, guys, because that's the most perfect example of a leading question I've ever heard in my life. Absolutely. The answer is in the question. I think you will find.
Right, guys. I think that's. Is anybody want to say anything more about on the Declan Rice?
Only that I think at the end of the day, I think Declan Rice probably wanted it. He probably wanted to go to Arsenal at the end of the day. Obviously, City coming in was perhaps a little bit of a surprise for me that they bid so high, what they did bid. And I think Declan Rice was sort of dyed in the wool that he wanted to move across London and go to Arsenal. What West Ham think about that? I'm sure they'll wish him well and be nice to him. I'm sure there's no love lost between the clubs. Isn't between these London clubs. But I think Declan Rice has possibly got what he wanted, which is fair enough. If we push the price up accidentally by doing that, but I think West Ham would have stood the ground. Whatever happened, and obviously Arsenal would have gone there anyway, had to go there to get the player. I don't think City's input had anything to do with it.
Isn't his best mate there at Chelsea, Mason Mount? And I think that, I could quite believe some of these stories that he wanted to stay in London, even though Man United are trying to sign Mount now, I think.
Last quick question, Mike. Do you think the West Ham will be in for Calvin Phillips?
I think they will. They've got money now to make an offer for sure. Calvin, he wants to say. You could see when he got his chances at City last season, he was smiling, he was enthusiastic, he really wanted to get on the pitch. It just he hasn't made an initial obvious impact So West Ham have got like all that money in their pocket now. So you could expect that. You expect the offer. Whether City would agree or not, I don't know.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I mean, I think Calvin Klein would have been a bit better success at City than Calvin Phillips, to be honest. And is Calvin Klein dead?
Oh, he's a nice lad. He's a nice lad, so we'll give him time.
He's a nice lad. I wear his underpants every day. And on that on that bum note, guys, I got to say a big thank you to Mike and to Bernard. Look, we want to talk football. We want to talk seriously about football, but we also want to have a bit of a laugh as well. And if you like that idea of a lot of serious talk, but some fun as well. Every stream we do, we have a laugh, we have a bit of fun, but we get to the nitty gritty. We talk about the football at Manchester City. We talk about it from a fan's perspective. As I said, we've said many times, Bernard goes to so many games, 50 games last season. It's incredible the commitment that Bernard shows at his ripe old age. So always there.
Might be a few less this season, guys, but I'll do my best.
Right, guys, thank you so much, and take it easy. Keep it here with City Fan TV, and if you haven't subscribed already, please think about that. We're pushing on towards 2,000 subscribers, and we will hit that this year at some point with the help of my two good mates, Mike Long, who is bought from the Blue, and Bernard Deneen, who is running the Citizen channel. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you around Blues.
Thanks a lot.